All right, guys, ask a Felon back with another one for you. Got some more questions to answer. First question is, what's something people underestimate about starting over? I think what people underestimate is how hard it is, especially if you're starting from scratch. I can only imagine if I didn't have family. Like if I wouldn't have family to help me start over, which as in help me start over is things like rides to places, it wasn't we don't have money, so it wasn't like, oh well, here's a couple thousand, go get you an apartment, or hey, here's a couple thousand, go get you a car. It was nothing like that. It's just being there supportive, doing what they can when they can. I can only imagine how hard it would have been. So how starting over, I mean, but then again, I keep considering me, how my situation was, because my situation was completely starting from scratch, absolutely nothing. No house, no car, no job, no wife, no more kids, nothing. All that was gone. Like, just completely went from having a house, a job, a car, wife, kids, two or three cars, and everything you could think of to boom, like that, gone. So, excuse me. So it was just gone like that, and starting over without support is impossible to do. It's not impossible, but it's a lot harder, especially if you don't have some kind of support system, because that support system is the big thing. Was something I learned from hitting rock bottom that I can handle anything life throws at me. Like that's really all I can say. Like so many people I've known that when they just get a little down, like they don't even know what rock bottom is. They ain't even 10 feet near the bottom of rock bottom. They still got 50 feet left before they're at rock bottom, and they're tripping out, flipping out over, oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Or the first time they're broke and don't have a little bit of money, it's like the end of the world for them. It surprises me. I've never realized how many grown ass men are babies either. Like that's something I've realized a lot lately. I'm like, damn, there's a lot of grown ass men who are big babies. Like it's crazy. They'll come up with excuses for everything. They'll find a reason why they can't do this, but they got advice for you to do that. It's just crazy. So I learned how I can get back up on my feet no matter what. I've done it at least 3 times now, and I ain't talking about little hiccups or nothing like that. I'm talking about completely at rock bottom, lowest of the low, low so low that prison was better than where I was low at. Like it's not in my. I don't mean better for me. Like I feel like it was a better place. I'd rather be at rock bottom and be homeless than be in prison. I'd rather be sleeping in the woods than be in prison. But I mean, I've been that low. I've been low to where after a divorce and lost my family and lost my job, lost everything, like completely living in a park, like that's my rock bottom. So when I refer to rock bottom or when I say I started over, I mean I was at rock bottom and started completely over. What's something you had to earn back that most people take for granted? Trust, especially when it comes to your family. Like when your family thinks you're shady, sometimes it makes them be shady just because they got to watch their back on you. You know what I mean? So it seems like sometimes they feel like, oh, I got to get to jump on him or he's going to be shady to me. And people don't realize that sometimes people realize what they've done, and that's all it takes is for somebody to actually realize and let it sink in that what they've done. And then it just gives you a whole nother outlook. Like sometimes I think some people need to hit rock bottom to understand how much it can change somebody. But if you ain't never hit rock bottom, and I ain't talking rock bottom, oh, I can't pay my light bill this month, or I ain't got enough money to get me a gas tank. I ain't talking about rock bottom like that. I'm talking about rock bottom. Low, 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 scum of the earth rock bottom. Like, it kills me. Some people are like, oh, we just having it rough. No, you don't know what rough is. I'm telling you, you don't know what rough is. But I know there's got to be at least a few people who watch these that have hit rock bottom. Throw it in the comments if you're one of them ones who's been at the rock bottom I've been at. If we've been at the same bottom, throw it in the comments. I'd like to know how you guys got back on your feet. What's something you learned about people when I had nothing? Well, I learned that if you ain't got nothing, then people don't want nothing to do with you. Not my family. My family has something to do with me at all times, but there's other people that when you're at rock bottom, they don't want shit to do with you. And then suddenly all the problems that was a big issue that you couldn't work out or you couldn't get past when you was broke. All of a sudden now you got money and you're doing good. Oh, we can get past them issues now. No, we couldn't work past them issues when I was broke, so we can't work past them issues when I'm back on my feet. You know what I mean? So that's what I learned, that it'll weed out the people who's there for you and who ain't. And that's exactly what it does. It weeds out the ones who's real and the ones who's fake. That's all I can say. That's the best thing I learned is if you want to weed out the people who you don't know about, act like you're rock bottom and see, and you'll find out who's there for you and who ain't, or who's about being part of your life, even when you ain't got no life. What's the biggest mistake you made that started a chain reaction? The biggest mistake I made that started a chain reaction was being scared of misdemeanors. I was so scared of misdemeanors because I was young, dumb, and naive to the losses, the court system, and how it worked. That I thought a misdemeanor was, oh, I'm so scared to go to jail. I'm terrified of jail. Just a week in jail, it was like the end of the world for me. If I only knew what I know now, man. But that's what started the chain reaction, was being afraid to death of misdemeanors, not realizing that if it's a misdemeanor charge you're facing, you damn near have to go spit in a judge's face to get locked up for a misdemeanor, unless you get arrested right on the spot doing something. But if you got court dates coming up for a misdemeanor, don't even sweat it. I'm telling you, if there's anybody out here who has misdemeanors they're facing, and you're in a situation I was, where I was young and naive to this law system, don't sweat it. Take care of that shit. I'm telling you, take care of it, because it ain't nothing. You literally have to spit in that judge's face. If you're already out of jail and you got to go to court for misdemeanor charges, you have to get up there and do some crazy shit to end up in jail. And then even if you do go to jail, that you ain't gonna be in there longer than maybe 10 days. That's if you really push it. That's if you had to make them find you or something. So don't ever. That's what started my chain reaction, and then I let it snowball into felonies to where I committed a felony to go and pay my misdemeanor fees. So that was my chain reaction. But I'm telling you, if there's anybody out there listening to this who's worried about misdemeanors, don't. I'm telling you, it ain't nothing to worry about. Worst you're gonna get is some probation. What's something you'd never teach your kids to do? I'd never teach my kids to be bullies. That was one thing I was big on. I always told the boy to watch out for his sisters, and I always told him, "You guys don't ever be bullies. You know, don't be picking on no other kids. I don't care. You ain't no better than anybody else. Don't ever think you are. So, don't be bullying somebody." Matter of fact, I told him to stick up for bullies. And a matter of fact, one of my boy did when he was in school. He got in trouble on the bus because somebody was picking on one of his friends. But I told him, that's fine. You ain't in trouble with me. I told you to stick up for your friends. You know, don't ever let people bully. I've always been that way. I've always stuck up for the underdog because I was the underdog. I was the one who got picked on until I started using my hands on people, and then that's what I got known for, to where people left me alone. But I always defended handicapped people. I defended the weak. You know, that's just who I am. That's what I still, to this day, I wouldn't let it go on. So I would never teach my kids to be a bully, to never fit in the crowd. I always told them, be different, stand out, don't be the follower. Deep down, I don't think anybody really likes a follower. What's something you'll never take for granted again? My freedom and my family. That simple. The shit that I've been through, as low as I've been in shit, it makes you appreciate what you got. I'm telling you. Like, sometimes I think people need to hit rock bottom. And like I said, I mean my rock bottom. Literally nothing. Not even having a phone to keep your mind occupied. So sometimes I think people need to hit rock bottom and sit and be in their own head for a while. A lot of times I think that's why there's a lot of people out here who can't be alone. I know there's people out there who's seen people who always has to be around somebody. They will always want company. They always want to be with somebody. If they're alone, they call people on the phone. Like, people, there's a lot of people who can't be in their own head. Me, I like that. I like sitting down peacefully and not having to fucking impress nobody, because I don't do that shit. Like, I'm one of them people who you get what you get. Take it or leave it. This is me, and that's what it is. I'm not gonna fake happy. I'm not gonna fake like I like you. You know what I mean? If I ain't got nothing to say, I'm gonna be quiet. That's all there is to it. I'm not gonna kiss ass. I'm not gonna be a chameleon. I'm not gonna blend in to fit in. I just never been able to do that. So something I'll never take for granted is my family and my freedom. What's something people don't realize about living with regret? That it can hit you at the oddest times. Living with regret, you always think about it. That's why I try to tell myself, that was the thing with fighting. I always regretted it when I didn't fight somebody. So when I was young, I told myself, next time I'm beating their ass, so I don't have this regret. So that's what I would do. Like before I became unscared of being thinking I was gonna get in trouble for it. I used to say, for example, I'd let somebody flip my ears, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't do nothing because I was afraid to do it, but I regret it all night. I'd be laying there before school, next day thinking about it. Man, I can't believe I let that motherfucker do that. Man, I can't believe I let him do that. I wish I would have just beat him up right then. I wish I would have just beat him up right. So I made sure to tell myself I'll never have that regret again. But there's different kinds of regrets. There's other regrets like things I did when I was on drugs that, it just hits you out of nowhere and you'll be like, man, I can't believe I did that. And usually 9 times out of 10, there's nothing you can do to fix it. So yeah, living with regret, it'll hit you when you think everything's going good, you can have a good day, boom, it'll hit you. Or something will remind you of it and it hits you. What is something you hope your story teaches others? That no matter how low you are right now, unless you've been as low as what I'm describing, it can only go up from there. Like once you get down to that point, nothing else can there's nothing else that can get worse. You know what I mean? Like it can only go up from there. Once you're down at that rock bottom, you only go up. That's all there is to it. That's when you know you've hit rock bottom. When anything else that happens to you is only an upgrade, then you know you've hit rock bottom. What is one thing your past can't take from you? Who I am inside, the heart that I have, the the respect that is in me, the way I am, the way I respect people, the way that my heart is, the way my conscience is. Like there's nothing my past can't take that away because that's who I am. Like I've even told myself all the time, I wish I had a switch I could flip off and be like everybody else. I just wish there was a switch I could flip in my head and be the outspoken and not give a fuck if I hurt somebody's feelings and not care if I sound rude when I'm saying it. But I always think about that because I think about me. I try to treat others the way I'd want to be treated. So I hold my mouth sometimes on certain things. Unless somebody pushes me to my limit, then I'll be like, all right, you know what? You ain't shit. This is what you're about. And but other than that, I try to keep my mouth shut because I would want people to keep their mouth shut about me. If I ain't asking them for their opinion, don't give it to me. So I try to do that to others. I'm not going to throw my 2 cents in somewhere unless somebody asks me to. And then I'm going to be honest about it. But what's the biggest lesson from your worst day? That it's time to deal with your consequences. That was my lesson. There's consequences for your actions. Every action has a reaction. So there's always consequences for your actions. What's something different from who I was to who I am now? From who I was when I was on drugs, mainly the Xanax. I was a grimy person. I was like a whole different person. You wouldn't even know it was me. You wouldn't even know the real me if I stayed on Xanaxes. When I am on them Xanaxes, I turn into a complete 100% unrecognizable different person. So that's what's different. I'm me. I'm the one with the good heart. I'm the one with the good conscience and all that. As soon as I put the pop of Xanax in me, that all goes away. It's like that. The Xanax is that switch. You know how I said I wish I had a switch I could flip and be like everybody else? That's what happens when I take a Xanax. I flip that switch and I'll tell you about yourself without you asking me. I'll do all kinds of grimy shit. This will be the last one. Remember, guys, hit that like, comment, share, subscribe. Oh, by the way, I've been posting police reaction videos, so if you'd like to see more of them, let me know in the comments. If you don't want to see more of them, you just rather have this, let me know. But I got to try to do something. I need to get up to my 500 subscribers so I can go into the details about how the judge did me a favor, and then later on I had to come back and they wanted somebody to do a favor for the mayor, and it's a pretty good story. What's something I learned about trust the hard way? That once it's gone, it takes 100 times the effort to gain it back. That's what I learned about trust the hard way. Because deep down, people might forgive you, but they never forget. Like they just that's why I in one of my other videos I told you I'm always careful with my words too, because I know words you can never get rid. Like they're always in your head. Somebody hits you a bruise or a black eye, that heals up and goes away. But words, you just can't get them out of your head. So even when I would argue with my wife, I wouldn't say mean shit. Even though she would say mean ass shit to me, I wouldn't say nothing mean to her because I know you can't take that shit back. Once it's said, it's done. It's there. There's nothing else. There's nothing nobody can do. I seen that with my mom and dad. When my dad would say mean shit to my mom, 40 years later, she still remembers that shit. So it's like, watch the words. So that's what I learned about trust. Once you lose trust, it takes 1,000 times more effort to gain that trust back than the split second it took for it to be gone. It only takes a split second to lose trust. It can be something as simple as lying about something petty. Because the way I look at it, if you lie to me something about something petty, you'll definitely lie to me about something major. So therefore I can never trust you. I can never trust what your words tell me. If you're gonna lie to me about something dumb just to have a conversation, then you'll lie to me about something important if it ever came down to it. So, with that being said, guys, that's all I got. Remember, please hit that like, comment, share, subscribe. Like I get up to my subscribers. But till next one, see ya.